97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card, good for use, at Doyle's Poorhouse in Tuckerton for just $25.
Get this great deal starting Friday at 9 a.m. at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
SeizeTheDeal.com.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Thank God I'm a
Sixers.
bang! It's good. Ball game.
And Flyers.
Just in front of the net.
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey. This is Game Night with Josh Hinnick.
It's good.
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
And he scored.
Now live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort Studio. Here's Josh Hinnick.
You know, the day after the opening night for a team in sports, no matter if it's baseball, football, hockey, basketball, the conversation should be here on 97.3 ESPN about who is on the court, who is on the field. But apparently Philadelphia sports are making a habit of drawing all the attention away from the players on the court, on the field, on the ice, and onto other topics. So begrudgingly, we will talk about it during the next hour here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. I am Josh Hennig, and I am not going to hold back today. And I hope none of you as well, when you text in at 609-403-0973, your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. I purposely have carved out this window for you and me, for all of you listening, and for me here in the Ocean Casino Resort Studios. Because I could have gone out and gotten somebody to come on the show to talk about the Sixers game last night, or to talk about Thursday Night Football, or to talk about the Eagles game on Sunday. And we'll do that tomorrow. We'll do plenty of Football Friday tomorrow. But I want to know how you guys feel now that some of the dust has settled on this Sixers malarkey. Because, frankly, the Sixers and the Eagles must be sharing notes. Because 2 weeks ago, we spent half of our time talking about the coach being an immature idiot. Then we did talk about the Eagles win. And this week, instead of us having a conversation about opening night of the NBA season for Philadelphia, we are talking about the guys who were not playing and the people who continue to not give us the information we deserve. It all started yesterday when Shams Charania, who is now the new NBA insider for ESPN, now that Adrian Wojnarowski has retired, Shams went on and broke the news that the NBA is opening an investigation into the Sixers' handling of Joel Embiid. And I said this yesterday with Mike Gill on the Sports Bash, that the Sixers organization should have the wherewithal, the self-awareness, the understanding that the world around them just wants to know what's going on with the former league MVP, multiple-time All-Star, arguably one of the greatest big men talents of the last 30 years, Joel Embiid. And instead of coming out and just saying, hey, Joel Embiid has this or that issue and he's not going to play, they left it ambiguous. To which Shams Charania then went on ESPN's NBA Today and said this
And this is a complicated situation for the league, for the Sixers, and obviously Joel Embiid, because it's not black and white in terms of there is no specific injury. Like with Kawhi Leonard, we know he's got that swelling in his knee. With Chris Middleton, we know that he has double ankle surgery that he's coming off of. With Joel Embiid, it's been a lot of the new normal that we've been told in terms of the periodic time off that he is scheduled to take this upcoming season.
So that was Shams on ESPN television. And the reason why this is also significant is because the Sixers game last night was on ESPN television. And he's right. It is a complicated situation because the Sixers think they are doing what is in the best interest of their team and the player. So 2 hours later, Daryl Morey was a guest on the 6 o'clock Sports Center. Kevin Negandhi was on site. Kevin Negandhi, Temple boy, okay? He's a guy from Temple. He's a local guy. So you knew if he got a hold of Daryl Morey, he was going to ask the question that everyone wanted to know. What is going on with Joel Embiid? Why is the league investigating? This is what the president of basketball operations, Daryl Morey, told Kevin Negandhi an hour before tip-off of last night's game. And also 2 hours after Shams dropped the news of the NBA's investigation.
When you come to our games, you want to see your favorite player. You want to see Joel. You want to see Paul George. And we're going to be smart about Paul George as well. The league office has, I think, correctly put a focus on having the players available. And look, tonight Joel and Paul just can't be available. Investigation, they do that anytime a star player misses. So that is something that always happens.
Apparently, Daryl Morey's a future as a politician because he should be writing some of these political ads on television, on radio. Because what he basically did was spun a web that no one can escape from unless they just literally just cut through it. First of all, we all know. Listening to me on 97.3 ESPN. I know here in the Ocean Casino Resort Studios, all of you listening on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, wherever you're joining me today, I appreciate you tuning in. But we all know that the league doesn't investigate everything. That is a fraudulent narrative. And it's not as simple as Joel Embiid and Paul George are unavailable. Now, I will note that the Sixers injury report listed Joel Embiid. Now, we know about Paul George's injury. Paul George even said it on his podcast that he has a bone bruise in his knee. And those bruises take time to heal. All bone bruise, whether it's a joint, a ligament area, any type of bruise takes time to heal. And bones take longer to heal because there's less blood flow going to that region, okay? There's your doctor explanation there for the night. But I don't have an explanation for this. Joel Embiid is listed with a left knee injury management. Daryl Morey tries to make it sound like this is no big deal. But the league is investigating. Oh, they investigate everybody. Then, 3 hours after Daryl Morey said that, Nick Nurse is asked after the Sixers lost to the Bucks, in which it was a close game for the first, I would say, 15 minutes of basketball action. Sixers just ran out of gas because they couldn't hit a three. I mean, they missed, I think it was 22 or 23 threes last night. The only guy hitting threes last night consistently was Kyle Lowry. It was ridiculous. If you actually take Kyle Lowry's 3 for 5 out of it, the 76ers, the rest of the team, went 5 for 26 from 3. I mean, that's how bad it was last night. They just couldn't make a shot. It was a bad shooting night. They had no chance of winning that game. They couldn't make shots. So 3 hours after Daryl Morey puts that spin out there, Nick Nurse is asked after the game about the league investigating Joel Embiid and what is going on with Joel and him not playing. And Nick Nurse decides to drop this little nugget.
He did not re-injure himself. But the plan is we don't feel like he's quite ready, strong enough, light enough, whatever it is that they've determined that he's not quite ready to go, hasn't been in any full court scrimmages, etc. And that's the plan.
Now, we already know Joel Embiid has come in 20 to 30 pounds lighter than last year. But apparently, according to Nick Nurse, that wasn't enough. So, did Joel Embiid lose weight just because he cleaned up his diet? But he didn't do enough conditioning in the offseason between the Olympics and now? How does a professional athlete whose literal job is to play sports, not, as Nick Nurse said, strong enough or light enough to participate in drills? Look, it's one thing. You know, for those of you out there who are like me, we go to the gym, right? And if you injure yourself at the gym, you know, you hurt your foot, twist your ankle, maybe your shoulder hurts, you slept on it wrong, right? Your back's out of alignment, you gotta go to the chiropractor, or you're just old and everything hurts, right? Whatever your situation is, and we say, you know what? I'm not feeling right to go to the gym today or tomorrow. We're not professional athletes. We don't have access to the greatest care in the world, the greatest resources in the world to put ourselves in condition to be at a level that allows us to be productive at the gym. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I've been to plenty of pickup basketball games with guys who looked like they spent too much drinking last night and they can still run up and down a court. I remember when I used to live in Sea Isle for years, and I used to live on 42nd Street. So that meant that I lived across the street from the basketball courts. And, you know, younger Josh used to, get up in the morning and want to go out for a run, and he would see these older gentlemen playing hoops the courts. And I would, call next. And these are older gentlemen who are in their late 30s, mid 40s, early 50s. Definitely not professional athletes, definitely with some injuries, we'll call it. But let me tell you something. Those older gentlemen, they could run up and down that court. They could put on a sweat outside in the summer weather when it's humid. We're drinking Gatorade. Some of them probably were out too late the night before, hanging out with their buddies at La Costa's across the street, and they mumbled their way home, and they woke up at 7 o'clock the next morning, and they rolled into the basketball court a little hungover, and they're just pounding Gatorade and coffee, and they're like, you know what, my knee hurts, my back hurts, my everything hurts, and I'm hungover, but I'm here to get my sweat on. But yet this is how we describe Joel Embiid's situation.
He did not re-injure himself. But the plan is we don't feel like he's quite ready, strong enough, light enough, whatever it is that they've determined that he's not quite ready to go, hasn't been in any full court scrimmages, etc. And that's the plan.
You guys can tell me at 609-403-0973 your thoughts, your DMs into the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. Unless I am given evidence to the contrary, I am now under the belief that the 76ers are covering up something, that they are hiding something about Joel Embiid's condition. Because the injury report from the Sixers themselves to the media says left knee, injury management. The head coach of the team says he's not strong enough, he's not light enough, whatever it is. He didn't re-injure himself. But the injury report says injury management. The team, through the coach, who 2 days earlier said, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what to tell you. Now he's saying, well, he's not strong enough, he's not light enough, whatever it is, he's not ready. He's not ready for full court conditioning, full court practices. Somebody's lying. Somebody between Daryl Morey, Nick Nurse, the guy who published the injury report, somebody somewhere is lying. The only consistent message we have gotten is Nick Nurse has said twice this week that Joel Embiid did not re-injure himself. Something that has been corroborated by Brian Windhorst and Shams Charania of ESPN. So we know Joel didn't re-injure himself. But yet you Sixer fans, whether you're listening to Tom McGinnis on the radio here on 97.3 ESPN, whether you were watching the game on television last night, or whether you were like Nick Earnshaw and hiked your way up to the nosebleeds to watch the game, all of you got to see a shorthanded Sixers team that had a bad shooting night and Joel Embiid just sitting on the bench, hanging out, because what reason? He is unavailable. So I'm going with conspiracy theory. I'm going to be tinfoil hat man. I'm going to be the man who's not afraid to say it. I'm not going to be the guy who capitulates to what everybody else wants me to say or wants me to think. Until I am proven otherwise, I am going to be my best version of Kyrie Irving, and I am going to turn around and say, I smell conspiracy. I am going to do my best Joe Rogan impersonation and say, I smell a cover-up. Because Joel Embiid is just chilling on the bench in sweats. And we don't even have a good reason why. And if you're not giving me a good reason why, and if you can't get the message straight between the people who are reporting on the league, the president of basketball operations of the league, and the head coach of the team, all within like a 7-hour window. Shams Charania puts out this report. Almost 3 hours later, well, actually it was 2.5 hours later, here's Daryl Morey on SportsCenter. 3 hours after that, here's Nick Nurse after the game. You literally have an organization that can't get the message right when they directly speak to the media, when they indirectly speak to the media. So if there's not a consistent message, if there's not clarity of information, why would I believe it's anything else except for we are not being told something? Text board is open, 609-403-0973. Your DMs into 973 ESPN. Mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. Andy and EHT with your text and more coming up on the other side. Josh Hennig live here in the Ocean Casino Resort Studios. And yes, Sixers basketball is back tomorrow night as they start their road trip against the Raptors. 2-game road trip. You hear the game right here on 97.3 ESPN. And then following that game will be game 1 of the World Series, which is more salt in the wound of Philly sports fans. Yankees, Dodgers, here on 97.3 ESPN.
The World Series on ESPN Radio.
This is the greatest October rivalry in baseball history.
It's a star-studded showdown between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees. It all begins with Game 1 in Los Angeles. Game 1 of the Yankees and Dodgers.
Listen to the World Series Game 1 tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins after Sixers basketball.
Brought to you by Shore Physicians Group. Be well connected. Visit shorephysiciansgroup.com. Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go to the Gallery. Go to the Fanatics Sportsbook. Go for the win at Ocean Casino Resort. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
At Progressive, we know there's a lot of things you can track. Steps, calories, heart rate, your pet steps, screen time, the whereabouts of your favorite celebrity, how long you slept, how long you didn't sleep, how long you thought about sleeping, how long you thought about sleeping. But none of these things could save you money, unlike Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate based on how and how much you drive. It's much better for your bottom line than tracking your Cocker Spaniel's resting heart rate. So download the Progressive app today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance-class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
Common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT, or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Progressive Insurance presents the Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN. The Sixers opened up the season on Wednesday night, losing to the Milwaukee Bucks at home, 124-109. Philadelphia playing without center Joel Embiid and forward Paul George. Both will be out for Friday's game against the Toronto Raptors. It starts a two-game trip for the Sixers that'll include a stop in Indiana to meet the Pacers on Sunday. NHL, the Flyers hosting the Minnesota Wild on Saturday and looking to snap a 6-game losing skid. Wednesday night, they fell to the Washington Capitals 6-3. Have now dropped back-to-back games to the Capitals, trailing 4-0 before they scored their first goal in the second period. The Eagles on the road Sunday as they take on Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Philadelphia with the second-best rushing offense in the league. They sit at 4-2 and have won back-to-back games. The Bengals started the season 0-3, but have now won 3 of their last 4. However, they have not beaten a team with a winning record. I'm Tony Desiri, and that's your Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, MediShare members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before October 30th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is October 30th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zarrow. New Jersey's driest calendar month on record
rolls right along with clear skies, calmer winds, and chilly temperatures tonight. Our low falls to around 43. Could be some 30s and patchy frost in the Pinelands overnight. Tomorrow, sunny and seasonable. Nice October day, high 65. Maybe a sprinkle early Saturday, then windy with clearing skies, high 68, 58 Sunday. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card, good for use, at Doyle's Poorhouse in Tuckerton for just $25.
Get this great deal starting Friday at 9 a.m. at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
Seize the deal. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
So apparently some people are very unhappy with my position on the state of the Sixers right now. And I'm not going to be like James Franklin, who is unafraid to take questions or criticism about things that I say or do. For those who don't know, James Franklin completely refused to take any questions about his players being in legal trouble recently. I think it was today, actually. At least I saw the video today. It might have been from earlier this morning. But basically, for those who don't know, two of the Penn State players are being charged with sexual assault. And Penn State University and James Franklin decided not to talk about it. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to answer questions about it. Nothing. So I'm not going to be that guy. But what I'm also going to say is, you guys can disagree with me, and that's fine. And Jack from Cape May Courthouse has every right to feel the way he does. Now, I will say, Jack Cape May Courthouse, I'm not going to read every single thing that you texted, only because of the fact that it's a lot. Okay? But I will say, Jack, that I understand that when you turn on the radio and you hear a certain level of negativity, okay, there's a feeling of, why do you care? This is ridiculous. But the problem is, Jack, if you go through the rest of the text board today and you have to absorb the amount of, how do I call this? The amount of misinformation that gets put out there on a continual basis on social media, okay? You understand that it's not that. And Jack, look, I see your follow-up texts, and I appreciate you. And I appreciate all of you guys who listen. But I think, Jack, your position deserves to be heard. Okay? You're right. Nobody owes me, 97.3 ESPN, the media as a whole, the fan base. Nobody owes us anything. You're right. I don't know exactly what's going on. But the problem is that I want to come on here on a day like today and talk about Caleb Martin. I thought Caleb Martin had an amazing game last night, Jack Cape May Courthouse. I think that the big highlight for me last night was the Sixers signed a free agent who does his job and makes sense. And you're right. We don't really know what's going on with Joel Embiid. But there is a group of fans who are very frustrated right now because there's a lot of people who paid max ticket price. I have a buddy of mine. Let me pull up his text. And this buddy of mine, him and I have known each other since high school. And I preface this by saying I'm not trying to throw him under the bus. But he literally texted me multiple times about how the ticket prices started falling immediately after the Joel Embiid and Paul George news came out Tuesday evening. He said, the cheapest lower seat now is $90 today. It has dropped at least $60 for every seat. The cheapest seat in the upper deck is $17 now, whereas the cheapest lower seat, so basically there's a huge drop-off in basically being the lower seats the same as the upper seats, he's saying in this long string of text. So the reason why we are frustrated, Jack and KMA Courthouse, and I appreciate your apology, but you don't have to apologize. You are coming from a position of, why is everything so negative? It's negative because the fans are frustrated. There's a segment of fans who are saying, I paid to watch the Sixers play. So why isn't the guy making $193 million unable to play? Because as the coach says, he is not strong enough, not light enough, whatever it is. Listen, Joel Embiid is a player that I think, at least I can speak for myself, and maybe you too, Jack Gaming Courthouse, I think we all want to root for. His story's great. He has an amazing story. Joel Embiid comes from nothing. He didn't play basketball until he was in high school, basically. He was found. He was discovered. He learned the game at a very late age. The man has only been playing basketball for a little over 10 years of his life, and he's almost 30 years old. I have played more basketball in my lifetime in terms of minutes on a court than Joel Embiid has. But Joel Embiid is such a gifted human being as an athlete and as a sponge. That's a part of the reason why he's so good, is because he's a sponge. He's so gifted, he's so talented that you want to see him play. You want to see him be great. You want to see him succeed. You want to see him excel. But then when the organization comes so flippantly to the fans and to the media and say, I don't know what's going on, I don't know what to tell you, it's frustrating. And Jack, you're right. We shouldn't write the Sixers off. And I'm not. But like you, I want to see this team together. I want to see Maxey. I want to see Embiid. I want to see PG-8 now. I'm sort of going to get myself out of saying PG-13. It's PG-8 now. Or just Paul George. And I would love to come in here to talk about Caleb Martin. Dude, Caleb Martin almost had a double-double last night. Caleb Martin, he is the guy we have been looking for. Can I just be hyperbole a minute, Jack? He's the guy we've been looking for. Caleb Martin's the guy on every NBA team that we look around and be like, why can't we have that guy? Why isn't that guy on our team? We finally got him. But yet his efforts go to waste. Because one, Sixers had a horrible shooting night outside of Kyle Lowry. Poor Kyle Lowry, he goes 3 for 5. Caleb Martin has a great game. Andre Drummond has a double-double, but nobody cares because, to quote you in Jack Kirby Courthouse, this BS that's going on. So you're right. There is a part of it that is ridiculous. There's a part of it that's like, why does it always have to be negative, negative, negative? And maybe all of us, Jack KMA Courthouse, and maybe one of these days you and I can grab a drink together and talk about this in person. I think all of us right now are on edge because of all these political ads everywhere. Every game we watch, everything on television, everything on streaming, everything on the internet, my Instagram feed, my Twitter feed, my Facebook feed, everything, I was literally replying to a friend on Snapchat today, and I got an ad after I watched their reel, or whatever it's called, or Snap, or, I'm almost 40 years old. I don't need to get all these names right. But seriously, I got a political ad after I watched their Snap, before I could reply to them. I think we're also inundated, Jack, in KB Courthouse with so much negativity that it's just like, oh, great. More negativity, more BS going on with us. So I think, Jack, I appreciate your apology, but I also appreciate the paragraph and a half you sent me on the text board at 609-403-0973 because there is a frustrating element of, 2 weeks ago, the Eagles won a game against the Browns. Arguably might have been a more important game than we realized because now they're on a 2-game winning streak, and we finally have some positive vibes about this team heading into a huge matchup with the Bengals this Sunday. But when we talk about the next day, Nick Sirianni being a distraction. And the same thing with this. We're not talking about the Sixers having a game where we saw something out of Caleb Martin and something out of Kyle Lowry and something out of Andre Drummond. But instead, all this stuff about Joel Embiid, it's a distraction. And because the Eagles are so big, and because the Sixers Embiid saga continues, none of us talk about Mikhail Mishkov, who is actually setting records. The dude is being so productive on a bad team when it comes to goals and assists right now that he is putting himself in rare categories as a rookie. But again, we're not talking about it because we're so inundated, we're so overwhelmed with all of this other, to quote you and Jack Henry Courthouse, BS. So yes, maybe it is ridiculous that we are questioning Embiid. Maybe it is important for us to just let things be. Maybe we all need to have a little more stoicism in our life when it comes to sports. And you're right. We can't judge the Sixers as a team when the team isn't on the floor. But I think a lot of us, like you, Jack, I think we're all a little triggered right now because, let's be realistic, we want this politically season to end. We want these elections to be over so we can get fill-in-the-blank political candidate off of our screens, off of our feeds, off of our lives. I mean, I literally got in the mail an election ballot yesterday. When I saw it, when I got home last night, I chucked it. I didn't want to even look at it. I was just like, I am done. I am done with these people. I am going to vote. Don't worry, folks. I am voting. Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN is a registered voter, okay? But yes, we are a little frustrated with the negativity right now. I see you, Jeff from Motion State. I'll get to you in just a bit at 609-403-0973. I promised Andy from EHT I would get to him. He says, hey, Josh. Says Andy and EHT, I don't mind the Sixers at all right now. They are trying to squeeze as much as they can out of Embiid while he is still around. They're saving him for the second half of the stretch run of the season. Fine by me, or even just the playoffs to get him in shape 2 weeks for the postseason. Just let him play the league minimum games so he can play the playoffs. That's from Andy and EHT. Well, Andy, you sound like you've been listening to Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. Heard every Monday through Friday morning here, 6 to 10 a.m. on 97.3 ESPN, because Evan had a similar comment where he basically said, hey, maybe, here it is. I don't want to speak for Evan, but he kind of repeated his position today, but multiple times. But this is kind of his position with Joel Embiid.
Don't play him one game until the postseason then.
Well, you got to get to the postseason.
They'll get to the postseason without him. They actually have a good roster-ish. Game one of the playoffs, when you're a play-in team at that point, and let's just say you're the 7 seed, that should be Embiid's first game of the season. If we're going to really go extreme like this, first game back, playoffs.
Now, that's unrealistic. And there's a little hyperbole there from Evan. But I do think that what Andy from EHT is saying, what Evan Cohen on the morning show on Sportsmanlike here on 97.3 ESPN, I think they both have a very similar point. And not literally. I don't think anyone should not play all season and then just show up in the postseason. And I don't think Evan literally means that. And I don't think Andy and EHT literally means Joel Embiid shouldn't play the whole season and only show up the postseason. So we're not taking that literally. But let's process this for a minute. And look, I don't buy into the whole thing from Shaq and Barkley talking about how players are soft today and all that stuff, because we know for a fact, if you are a Sixers fan, if you are someone who has followed this team closely, Joel Embiid has tried to play through every injury, every health issue, every malady that he has gone through. And he has tried to be available in the postseason. He has played through knee injuries. He has played through diverticulitis. He has played through a broken face. He has played through, after having foot surgeries and back problems and meniscus surgeries. And I mean, the man is a walking, surgery story. Like, there's going to be 20 years from now, people teaching classes in sports medicine, and Joel Embiid is going to be a chapter, if they're not already doing it. So, yes, in the most literal sense, is there a part of us that says, just get him to the postseason? Absolutely. But the problem is that, again, what frustrates everyone about this whole situation isn't Joel. It's how the team's handling it. And I think all of us are a little frustrated. We're all a little sensitive. We're all a little triggered right now that we just want to see our favorite players on the court. When Joel Embiid, who, for those who don't know, Joel does not typically sign autographs or spend time with fans after games. But there was that game last April where he stopped his car when he saw the kids outside the Wells Fargo Center. Stopped his car and told the kids to come over, and he signed their stuff. And there's the dad who's got the camera who says, "Thank you, Joel, so much." And Joel just softly smiles at him and, just acknowledging that, thank you for saying that. Because Joel is not an extrovert. He's kind of like somewhere between an introvert and an ambivert, okay? He's not a guy who is gregarious. He's not a typical guy who, goes out and parties and hangs out with the people all the time. He's a family man. He wants to go home, spend time with his family. He wants to play ball. He wants to do his thing. But Joel did that last April because that was his way of acknowledging the fans that, hey, I see you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I think Joel was disheartened when the Knicks fans invaded the center last year during the playoff game. And I think that for whatever reason, it's been a domino effect of an offseason for Joel. From the disheartening loss of the postseason last year to not being as much of a contributor as maybe he would have liked during the Olympic run for Team USA. And maybe there is something to the fact that, who cares if Joel plays week 1, week 2, week 3 of the season? And you know what? Maybe, just maybe the Sixers need to be fined. Maybe that's the only way the Sixers organization will learn. You got to stop treating the fans and the media like they're insignificant, and start treating the fans and the media like we deserve the same level of respect that you demand of yourselves. All right. We got more text to get to. 609-403-0973. I got text coming in about Thursday Night Football tonight, the Flyers, and more. All that still to come with me, Josh Hennig, live in the Ocean Casino Resort Studios here on 97.3 ESPN. And don't forget, this Sunday, you can join me, Billy Schweim, Dave Klemick, and meet Vince Papale. Yes, Mr. Invincible will be at La Scala's Beach House in Brigantine this Sunday. So if you have the level of stones that Jack Kamey Courthouse does and want to complain to me and then also apologize for maybe taking you too far in person, you can come out and meet us at Les Scala's Beach House in Brigantine this Sunday. Billy Schweim, The Locker Room. We'll be broadcasting the show live 10 a.m. to noon leading up to the Eagles and Bengals game, of course. The Eagles game, Merrill Reese, Mike Quick on the call right here on your Eagles home for Eagles football in South Jersey, 97.3 ESPN. Look, Jack Kamey Courthouse, I appreciate all the apologies on the text board, but listen, I respect the fact that you came that hard. I respect you more than the person, well, maybe I shouldn't say it on the radio. Let's just say we have all had that person in our life who, instead of telling us off, or maybe like an adult breaking off the relationship, they just disappear on us. You know, they ghost us. So, Jack, you are more of an adult than many people I've known in my life. Josh Hennick here on 97.3 ESPN FM and a 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea City.
Brian Radke here from Westwood One. Longtime NFL head coach Ron Rivera joins me from Los Angeles as we kick off Week 8 with Thursday Night Football between the Rams and the Vikings. Minnesota is coming off their first loss of the season to the Lions, while the Rams hope to build off their win on Sunday against the Raiders. Don't miss it. Vikings at the Rams coming up on Thursday Night Football.
Listen to Thursday Night Football. Coverage begins at 7:30 on 97.3 ESPN.
Is your home ready for the season? Worried about rooms that just won't stay warm this winter? Call Jenkins Plumbing and Heating today to ask about a new energy-efficient system from American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning or a Mitsubishi ductless system. With generous financing options through South Jersey Gas or Atlantic City Electric, plus additional savings through rebates from your local utility companies. Upgrading your system could also help lower your utility bills. Call Jenkins today or visit jenkinsandsons.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED. And it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get your holidays started with the perfect tree in your perfect style from the Home Depot. Whether you want something that you can assemble in a few clicks, steal the show with over 2,000 color-changing bulbs, or a tree with lights that can be controlled by remote or foot pedal. The Home Depot has it all in our huge assortment of premium trees. Plus, get free delivery on over 2 million items this holiday from the Home Depot. Subject to availability. See homedepot.com/delivery for details.
The best call to make on game day is ordering catering from the Piccalilli Inn. For parties big or small, the Pick does it all. Your guests will be cheering for the Pick spin on football favorites like pulled pork nachos, cheesesteaks, burgers, and their award-winning buffalo wings, tails, and ears. Get your chicken wing fix on Route 206 at the Piccalilli Inn. Join the flock and follow the Pick on Facebook or at Piccalilli.com for their Pick game specials. And be sure to pre-order to guarantee your spot in Sunday's lineup.
Are you working out, eating healthy, doing all the right things, but still not seeing the right result? Well, it could all be down to your metabolism. But now, there's a way of understanding how your nutrition and lifestyle fit into the bigger picture. Learn how your body shifts from burning carbs to burning fat for energy with Lumen. Go to lumen.me right now for 30% off. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It takes just a single breath first thing in the morning, and Lumen immediately analyzes your metabolism, telling you if you're burning fat or carbs, and gives you tailored guidance to improve nutrition, workouts, sleep, and stress management. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. Get something tailored to your body's needs with Lumen. Go to lumen.me today and get 30% off. Plus, listeners can get an additional 15% off by using promo code RADIO50. That's promo code RADIO50 at lumen.me to get an additional 15% off your first purchase today. LUMEN.ME, promo code RADIO50.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit FVGradio.com.
If you want a 100% complimentary stay in Cancun at a luxury resort, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. We're giving away 5 days and 4 night stays to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-951-6541. 800-951-6541. You may also be eligible for an exciting bonus vacation in Orlando, Florida for just $398. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your stay up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and you get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation in Orlando for just $398. What are you waiting for? Call 800-951-6541. Again, 800-951-6541 and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest or sweepstakes and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by or affiliated with this station or program.
Broadleaf's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning is your trusted source for generations, and they are ready to keep you comfortable this fall. Schedule your heater tune-up today, and if you're ready to upgrade your HVAC system, act now. The NEIF financing program is back for qualifying ACE customers, offering 0% financing for 84 months with no money down, but only while funds last. So call Broadleaf's today, your local factory-authorized Bryant dealer. For a free quote, call 609-390-3907 or visit broadleafs.net. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and on the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
All right, let's finish getting through these texts on the board at 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. Mr. 302 from Delaware says, man, Josh, this Flyers offense is brutal. I know it's early, but they need to get it together. This team isn't good enough to go 5 or 10 games under 500 to fight back later in the season. And, you know, I think it's a twofold thing, Mr. 302. Number one, it's the fact that you were hoping that Matvei Mishkov would be like the missing piece. But Kevin Durso brought this up when him and I have talked here on 97.3 ESPN Radio. And he has brought up in his articles and his coverage on 97.3 ESPN.com that Mishkov can't solve all the Flyers' problems. For as gifted, as talented as he is, the Flyers are still a team that lacks, they don't have enough elite talent. You know, you look at all the best players in the NHL right now, whether it's Connor McDavid, Alex Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby, back in the day was Patrick Kane with the Blackhawks. All of these guys, for as talented, as gifted as they were, they never got to a Stanley Cup until they had better talent around them. And so yeah, Mishkov is the fourth Flyers teenage rookie with at least 7 points through his first 7 games. The other 3 are Eric Lindros, Peter Zezel, and Rich Suter. I mean, Zezel and Lindros were freakish players. And, of course, he's the first Flyers rookie since James Van Riemsdyk to have 7 points through his first 7 NHL games. So he is having an amazing season, but the Flyers just don't have enough talent on the ice around him to make up for it. And, yes, it's frustrating. It's a very, very frustrating thing to watch this team have that type of talent. And Sam Harrison has actually played well overall, but the defense, man, they got to have better rotations. I mean, those guys got to skate way better than they are. Way better than they are. And I know they can do it because I see them do it. I've seen Drysdale and Sanheim and these guys do it. I know it's in them. They just got to be better. They just got to be better. All right, Jeff from Ocean City chimes in. Says, Josh, looking forward to this Sunday. Alex Scales and Brigantine and beating Vince Papale. Well, come out and join us. Jeff from Ocean City. He says, any picks for the NFL tonight? I do got a pick for tonight. So, for those who didn't see the news earlier today, Puka Nacua, it has been announced that he is going to play tonight. Now, we don't know how much he's going to play. He's probably going to be like some sort of snap count. There's even some speculation that he might not even be starting on the field initially because he didn't really practice that much until this week. So, but I think Puka Nacua is going to have an impact on one specific player tonight. That player is Matthew Stafford. I like the over 246 passing yards for Stafford tonight. I think the Lions exposed the Vikings defense last week. I genuinely believe that what I saw last week was a Vikings defense that got exposed by a team that found a lot of gaps, a lot of weaknesses, a lot of flaws in their zone defense. I think Stafford is a more talented quarterback than Jared Goff. And because of that, I like the over 246 passing yards for Stafford tonight in the game. I also got to say, when it comes to the anytime touchdown, I'm looking at the numbers, and this number for Addison feels a little ridiculous. Plus 167? Look at good value to get the number 2 receiver in the Vikings offense to get on the board. Also remember, no TJ Hawkinson tonight, so Addison will keep getting his looks and his touches. The game comes up tonight, 7:30 p.m. here on 97.3 ESPN. And, of course, you can listen to the game also 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. I'm Josh Hennick. I'll be back tomorrow for a Football Friday edition here after the Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3.
This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles continue the 2024 season this Sunday in Cincinnati against the Bengals.
Let's go, and it is caught into the touchdown. Yes, yes.